on Fergie, emails between her and Epstein seem to show that she may have had a crush on him, or some have suggested she was in love with the disgraced financier.
This is the story of how a woman once married into the British royal family managed to spend millions on the most absurd luxuries imaginable, all while begging a convicted sex offender for cash to cover her rent. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, earned the nickname Duchess of Excess for good reason. And the details that have emerged paint a picture of financial chaos that defies belief. Westminster Abbey hosted her wedding to Prince Andrew in July 1986. And with that ceremony came entry into a world of privilege most people can only dream about. But what she did with that privilege has become the subject of a damaging biography and thousands of leaked emails, all revealing just how spectacularly she managed to spend her way into ruin. The spending details are extraordinary, so let's start there.
And convicted pedophile, let's not forget. Alan Howe has written a great piece in today's Australian newspaper, and he says there were warning signs from very early on about Sarah Ferguson, reports of disturbing behaviour from her date right back to when she first joined the royal family in 1986. Carol, what do you say about that?
Andrew Lownie's 2025 biography, The Rise and Fall of the House of York, reveals that Sarah Ferguson employed 17 staff members at one point, including a cook, driver, maid, butler, dresser, nanny, 3 secretaries, a personal assistant, a lady-in-waiting, an accountant with an assistant, 2 gardeners, a flower arranger, and even a dog walker. And what exactly did this army of employees do with their time? Among other duties, they meticulously ironed all of her underwear. And if any piece of laundry failed to carry the scent of her preferred fabric conditioner, everything went back for rewashing. 2 hot water bottles reportedly appeared in her bed each night, with the water measured to exact temperatures. Orange juice had to be freshly squeezed precisely as she sat down at the table, or she refused to drink it.
Well, yes, this is the newest thing that has come out of the Epstein files. I mean, there's so much that's coming out. There are thousands and thousands of pages. But yes, it has come out that on at least 2 occasions, she proposed to Jeffrey Epstein. And yes, it was after he was convicted the first time of using.
300 pounds vanished every single week on vegetables from Waitrose. Freezers sat stuffed with ice creams that nobody touched. Bendix, her Jack Russell, dined on proper meals prepared by staff, dishes like liver or sausages with gravy. Family dinners resembled medieval banquets, featuring a whole side of beef, a leg of lamb, and chicken, and much of the food ended up in the bin after meals. But here's where it gets even more absurd. 25 suitcases reportedly accompanied Ferguson to airports, racking up between 800 and 4,000 pounds in excess baggage fees on each trip.
And so, obviously that didn't bother her very much, or it didn't preclude her wanting to be married to him. Now, of course, it is, she does have this pattern where she's attracted to men, not only for their accomplishments and, their having a lot of money and so on.
5 of those cases held nothing but toiletries and makeup, and 1 suitcase contained only clothes hangers. Not clothes, just the hangers themselves. 65,000 pounds went to a personal trainer she used exactly twice. A Selfridges bill through a personal shopper reportedly reached 51,000 pounds. 1 month at a London wine merchant cost her 14,000 pounds. 6,500 pounds in charges piled up from using the Queen's special mail service to send extravagant gifts like silver letter openers and cufflinks, and she never paid any of it. A 500-pound bill at her local newsagent proved too much for her to handle. Creditors chasing her eventually included a butcher, a dry cleaning company, and a car hire firm. Her BP petrol card was confiscated because the bills sat unpaid. By 1994, her debts had climbed past 3.7 million pounds. Cuts Bank demanded 500,000 pounds within 14 days, and the late Queen Elizabeth II stepped in to bail her out. None of that stopped the spending, and that is when Jeffrey Epstein enters the story.
But also for what they will buy her, what they can offer her. And apparently Epstein actually did give her money on a number of occasions, when she was in deep trouble, in debt. And the money that she asked him for was really not very much for what he had in terms of wealth.
Bank records from 2001 show Epstein wired Ferguson $150,000. Her spokesperson claimed this related to share options she earned as a Weight Watchers ambassador, with the money repaid within 48 hours. But the financial relationship between them stretched far beyond that single transaction. Her style company, Hartmore, collapsed in 2009, burying her under £630,000 in fresh debt. Estimates of her total obligations at the time ranged between £2 and £5 million, and bankruptcy looked like a real possibility. Her solution was to turn to Epstein, a man who had just walked out of prison after a conviction for soliciting a minor for sex. October 2010 brought an urgent email from Ferguson to Epstein, asking for £20,000 for rent that very day, with a warning that her landlord threatened to contact the newspapers if she failed to pay. January 2010 brought another request asking whether she could borrow $50,000 or $100,000 to help with what she called small bills. After the money apparently arrived, her reply read, "You are a legend. Just marry me."
Well, yeah, it seems to be a lot about money when it comes to these two, particularly Fergie, it seems. Now, we've seen a truly unprecedented public reaction from the royal family in recent weeks. King Charles went nuclear and broke long-standing royal protocol by commenting on family matters. He issued a statement condemning his brother, even ejected him from the Royal Lodge. Carol.
Up to 15 years of financial support from Epstein reportedly followed, with estimates putting the total around £2 million. March 2011 saw Ferguson publicly admit she had taken £15,000 from Epstein, calling it a gigantic error of judgment and declaring she abhorred pedophilia and would never have anything to do with him again. But 1 month after that, she sent him an email that told a very different story. "You have always been a steadfast, generous, and supreme friend to me and my family." Apologies poured out for publicly criticizing him, along with an explanation that she had been bedridden with fear. That email went public in September 2025, and the consequences arrived fast. 7 charities cut ties with her, including the Teenage Cancer Trust, an organization she had been associated with for 35 years.
Dr. Lieberman, the latest Epstein document dump has cast former Duchess of York Sarah Ferguson and her ex-husband Andrew Mountbatten Windsor as grubby and selfish, and as a pair who knew of Epstein's vile activities.
The present situation now looks bleak. Ferguson has been evicted from Royal Lodge alongside Prince Andrew, and she recently sold a London townhouse purchased in 2022 for £4.2 million, taking a £400,000 loss on the sale. £745,000 now reportedly represents her entire net worth, an amount that would not even cover a modest house in Windsor. Sarah's Trust, her charitable foundation, has announced it will close for the foreseeable future. One royal insider described Epstein's view of Ferguson bluntly, saying he was not particularly fond of her and saw her more as a useful idiot who offered him access to Andrew's good graces, and through that, a path to the royals. Royal expert Jenny Bond put it this way: "She has always believed Ferguson's downfall was her hopeless grasp of money combined with her desire to have more of it. Suitcases full of coat hangers, desperate emails begging a convicted sex offender for rent money, a lifestyle so extravagant it collapsed under its own weight." This is a story about how unchecked spending and catastrophic judgment can bring anyone down, no matter how close they once stood to the throne.